I think you're all fucked in the head. We're 10 hours from the fucking fun park and you want to bail out. Well, I'll tell you something. This is no longer a vacation. It's a quest. It's a quest for fun. I'm gonna have fun and you're gonna have fun. We're all gonna have so much fucking fun we'll need plastic surgery to remove our goddamn smiles. You'll be whistling Symphony Doodah out of your assholes.
National Lampoon's Vacation is an iconic 1983 comedy adventure film directed by Harold Ramis, which began a series of movies that have become staples of American cinema. The movie stars Chevy Chase as Clark W. Griswold, a Chicago resident who works in the food additives business. He lives with his wife Ellen, played by actress Beverly D'Angelo, and his two children, Rusty, played by Anthony Michael Hall, and Audrey, played by Dana Barron. Clark decides that he wants to take the family on a 2-week vacation, a cross-country driving trip from Chicago, Illinois to Southern California to visit the Wally World amusement park. Clark ordered a brand new car for the trip, only to be conned by the car salesman Ed, played by actor Eugene Levy, into taking a station wagon called the Wagon Queen Family Truckster.
Clark, is that the right car?
No, it isn't, honey. I changed my mind.
They flattened our old car like a pancake.
On the very first day of the trip, the luggage falls off the top of the car while leaving, Clark accidentally tears off the license plate while searching for the gas tank, and the family finds themselves lost in the inner city of St. Louis.
I wonder if you could tell me how to get back on the expressway.
Hey, fuck your mama.
Thank you very much.
On the second day of the trip, Clark is aroused by a sexy young woman in a red Ferrari, played by Christy Brinkley.
Clark, you're doing 80 miles an hour.
Doesn't seem like it, does it, honey?
Slow down!
I don't know why. We're making good time. Love for sale. Ties and yummy love for...
They later arrive at a farm outside of Coolidge, Kansas, to visit Ellen's cousin Catherine, played by Miriam Flynn, and her zany husband Eddie Johnson, played by actor Randy Quaid.
Yeah, I bet you could use a cool one, huh?
Now you're talking.
Rusty and Audrey also get to spend time with their younger cousins Dale, played by John Navin, and Vicky, played by Jane Krakowski in her feature film debut.
I'm going steady, and I French kiss.
So everybody does that.
Yeah, but Daddy says I'm the best at it.
Cousin Eddie and Catherine give Ellen and Clark the task to take old Aunt Edna, played by Imogene Coca, along on the trip to drop her and her mean dog Dinky off at her son's home in Arizona on their way to Wally World.
You were the ones that sent me the fruitcake for Christmas. It made me so sick.
Oh, I'm sorry. We thought you enjoyed fruitcake.
You enjoy throwing up every 5 minutes, Claude?
Clark.
I thought so. Whew.
Aunt Edna is a miserable and cranky old lady.
Hi, how are you, little fella? Easy.
Yeah, you folks didn't get to meet Dinky last night. He had the shit, so he slept in the barn.
As they head towards the western part of the United States, more and more incidents occur, resulting in hilarity.
I think I broke my nose.
I stabbed my brain. I just got my period.
I better check under the hood.
Also starring John Candy, Eddie Bracken, and Brian Doyle Murray, this film was a big box office winner upon its release in July of 1983. It grossed over $61.3 million on a budget of only $15 million, making it a large success. The film had its origins in January of 1979. John Hughes was working at the Leo Burnett Company, a Chicago advertising agency. The Chicago blizzard of 1979 hit, and he was stuck at home with his pregnant wife and his young kid. He wrote a short fictional story called Vacation 58, using tidbits from his memories of childhood growing up. It wound up being printed in the September 1979 issue of National Lampoon magazine and was soon optioned by Animal House producer Matty Simmons to be made into a movie by Warner Brothers. Once Warner Brothers agreed, John Hughes made it into a screenplay taking place in then modern-day 1983. Another screenplay of John Hughes, Mr. Mom, would also be a hit at the box office in 1983.
I gotta be crazy. I'm on a pilgrimage to see a moose. Praise Marty Moose! Holy shit!
Dad, you want to ask her something?
Don't touch!
This was the second movie directed by Harold Ramis after Caddyshack, and filming lasted 55 days in July and August of 1982. Parts of the movie were shot in Utah, Arizona, Colorado, Missouri, and California.
Where's Edna?
She's in the car.
Good. Come on, kids. Get your butts in the car. Go.
Don't you want to look at the Grand Canyon?
Great.
The theme park used for Wally World was actually Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia, California. The Wally World parking lot scene was actually filmed at the Santa Anita racetrack in Los Angeles, California, and they cut the racetrack out of the top of the frame and replaced it with a hand-painted picture of Wally World. During filming, the temperature reached 105 degrees Fahrenheit and the pavement was 130 degrees. Anthony Michael Hall had to go to the hospital to be treated for heat stroke. The heat was unbearable during production through several states in the summer of 1982, and many of the cast and crew members would pass out. Imogene Coca even suffered a stroke during production, leading to her forgetting the scene that they had been shooting that entire morning. She quickly recovered, relearned her lines from the script, and went back to work on the film. Harold Ramis's daughter Violet Ramis has a very small role as Cousin Eddie's daughter Daisy Mabel, who doesn't talk because she was born without a tongue. Harold Ramis himself provides the voice of Marty Moose.
Sorry, folks, we're closed for 2 weeks to clean and repair America's favorite family fun park. Sorry.
What?
For the role of Clark Griswold, stand-up comedians Robert Klein, Richard Belzer, and actors Michael Keaton and Bill Murray were considered. Actress Maureen McCormick was considered for the role of Ellen Griswold, and the original choice for the role was actress Kim Cattrall. Robin Williams and Kenneth Mars were considered to play the character of Cousin Eddie before Randy Quaid was cast. Chevy Chase has stated that one of his favorite scenes that he ever filmed in any movie was Clark Griswold's encounter with the Colorado State Patrol officer, played by actor James Keach.
Well, officer, whatever it is I've done, I'm sure I can explain. Explain this, you son of a bitch. Oh, my God.
Both men were legitimately crying because they were trying so hard to contain their laughter. And if you look at both of their faces, you can tell they're trying not to crack up.
I was driving like a maniac. We can all be grateful to this man for stopping us. You see, kids, a car...
Here's the leash, sir. I'm going back to get the rest of the carcass off the road.
Thank you, officer.
See you.
Have a nice day.
The original ending of the film was completely different. Clark would hold Roy Wally himself hostage in his home and make him entertain the family. When the police arrived to arrest Clark, it would be revealed that Christy Brinkley's Woman in the Red Ferrari character was Wally's daughter. She convinces her father to drop the charges. Test screenings were held, and while audiences loved the movie, they hated the final act at Roy Wally's house. They gave it very negative reactions, and they thought that they should see some of Wally World. The entire third act was rewritten and reshot. For the role of the security guard, Harold Ramis had only one actor in mind, his old SCTV buddy John Candy. John Candy was a pretty big commodity at the time, and he asked for $1 million to play the role, and the studio agreed to it.
Rusty, may I call you Rusty? I had a bad experience on this ride once before.
What happened?
I threw up.
Ramis wanted Candy to play the character as if he were a relative of a character he played on an SCTV sketch called Paul Fist in Your Face.
That's very important. Always be polite, even when you're talking to bad people. So this guy tells me to get lost. So he wasn't around anymore. So then they send this other guy, and I does the same thing. He wasn't around anymore either. But these government guys, they never give up. They keep sending guys even when they know they're not wanted. By this time, they gave the people of the town a lot of money, telling them they'd have jobs and stuff. And even though the people of the town seemed happy, I knew they wanted their kids to swim in the river, and not some big old pool that the government was going to put in for free. So I kept wrecking stuff. Wrecking, and wrecking, and wrecking, and wrecking, and wrecking, and wrecking.
Christy Brinkley was supposed to appear naked in the film, but she refused. Brinkley later said that Harold Ramis told her that her getting naked was an integral part of the movie, to which she responded, "Yeah, right." Harold Ramis then said, "Will you at least get in your bra and panties?" To which she agreed. Beverly D'Angelo had no qualms about getting naked, and during her nude shower scene, she stripped her robe off and walked naked over 30 feet before she stepped into the shower. The filmmakers later told D'Angelo that she could wait and get naked once she's in the shower, but she said she had done many nude scenes and she didn't mind walking across a 30-foot set naked. Actor Anthony Michael Hall was 14 at the time and stated that he was extremely attracted to Beverly D'Angelo, and he tried to sneak onto the closed set to see her nude, all to no avail. The character of Audrey was originally going to be older than Rusty, but Anthony Michael Hall had such a growth spurt that they made Rusty the oldest child. By the end of production, Hall had grown 3 inches in size and was taller than both Dana Barron and Beverly D'Angelo. After production, Chevy Chase gave Anthony Michael Hall a signed photo that said, "If you're going blind, you're doing it right." American guitarist and songwriter Lindsey Buckingham recorded the songs Holiday Road and Dancin' Across the USA for this movie. Without having seen the movie, Buckingham recorded Holiday Road and wanted it to be somewhat uplifting and a little bit funny. He added some dog barks, unaware of the irony of the doomed pooch scene in the movie. Harold Ramis was thrilled the first time he heard it and said it was exactly what he was looking for the movie. Holiday Road would become one of Buckingham's best-known songs, but it only reached number 82 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. This movie would spawn sequels and become a classic television staple throughout the 1980s, the 1990s, and into the 21st century. I first saw this movie when I was very young, and it never gets old. If anything, it makes me nostalgic for those slower-paced, pre-internet, pre-cell phone family vacation days that I don't think kids today and in the future will ever get to experience. As an iconic 1980s classic, I highly recommend National Lampoon's Vacation.